everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and I am a full-time reseller. Today is Wednesday, so that is my What Sold Wednesday video. I will go over all my sales on all the different platforms that I sell on. That includes Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, and Depop. I did have a sale this week. So this week has been pretty much similar to the last couple. On Poshmark, I did do 50% off on some swimwear and dresses. That was offers to likers. I don't think I had anybody that took that offer, so unfortunately that didn't pan out. But I think I'm going to be running some more sales this weekend and then potentially on eBay as well, just because I can't believe that we are almost in July. And once we hit July, then it's like next thing you know, it's October. So Mercari did better than last week, around that 5 sale mark. On eBay, I am doing something a little bit different. If you haven't watched my videos, I think I talked about it on my video on Monday. I don't know if I talked about it last week on my What Sold Wednesday video, but I have decided that inventory that I am going to be pulling, so stuff that I don't really care so much about, I am running on auctions. And it has been working. I think that it is going to bring more people to my store in hopes to have more sales, and then maybe the algorithm will pick that up in my favor. I'm not starting them very high. Some are as low as $3.99 and the highest I think is $8.99. I might have a pair of Spanx new with tag, like cropped leggings starting at $10.99 I think. This is stuff that I just don't really care so much about. In the past, these items were potentially going to go to ThredUp, Plato's Closet, or my rummage sale that I have in the summer. So I figured instead of, storing that for the rummage sale or driving across town for Plato's, which not everything can go to Plato's, they're not going to take mature brands. And then ThredUp, there's the potential that they won't even list it and I won't make any money, or I could only make like 50 cents. So I am trying this route first just to kind of see how that goes. If that works, I might start implementing this more just because it's not very hard to do. I already have the pictures and the listings and everything in Flip. That's the cross-listing app that I use. So I just have to flip it to auction. So we'll see how that goes here in the next couple weeks. And then Depop, I did have a sale. I should have had, I think, 3 more. People had offered me amounts. I accepted and then they never came back to pay. That is very frustrating. I don't understand why that's even an option on that app. If you are buying anything from anywhere else besides eBay still has some times when they don't have to pay right away. There's never a time where there's a leeway of paying. So I don't know, hopefully Depop fixes that in the future. So I will scoot over a little bit and you can see this mess that I have behind me. I still have a lot going on. I'm in the process of trying to reorganize my inventory because I feel like I don't have the best use of space right now. I'll maybe go over that in a different video. So I will leave this open to put the images of what's sold. First up on Poshmark is a pair of Hokas. These were a women's size 10. I did pay $14.99 for these at the thrift store. They did flip probably within a month or so. They were pretty dirty. I threw them in the washing machine, did a little bit of pre-stain treating, and they came out great. We the Free, I got this belt at Goodwill. Unless it is in the boutique area, all accessories are $1.99. I have promoted this many times on my channel. If that is an area that you do not look at in your thrift store, I would suggest giving it a shot. You can find nice deals on belts, sunglasses, ties, what else do they kind of have in there? Hats. Depending on, what the pricing is at your thrift store. This was We the Free. I'm surprised they didn't catch the name and put it in the boutique area. Regardless, this did go for an offer of $18. LC Lauren Conrad, this is a brand that I've said in the past I just can't seem to leave behind when I pick it up at the bins. I would not suggest paying up for this brand. You can get it fairly cheap at Kohl's during their clearance events. I did just pick this up based on style and size once I got it home and really looked at it. Unfortunately, our bins, there are no windows, so you are left with like horrible fluorescent lighting that's super high up in the ceiling, and I missed that there were a couple snags, I think, by like the wrists on it. So this did only go for $10. Chico's, I have been kind of dipping my toe back into this brand. I had sworn it off at one point, and then once I kind of reevaluated what I was picking up, I think it just was not what people are looking for. I am looking for Chico's new with tag, obviously. I think everybody knows that. but more styles that maybe will translate into different buyers. So not just necessarily the more mature buyer that is looking at Chico's, but maybe somebody else that is looking for a certain style. This was why I picked this dress up. It was long sleeve. It had crochet detail. It was a longer length, all one solid color. So this did go for an offer of $45. Assets by Spanx. I don't really pick this up anymore unless I would find a great deal on the shapewear and it was new with tags. I've kind of slowed down on Spanx. This did only go for $7. Levi's. I will pick up Levi's. I've been a little bit more picky depending on the style. I am doing better at looking at sell-through rate on the size. I think that's kind of been an issue for me in the past with Levi's, is I'm not always getting the best style and size combo. So that is something that I am doing. If I can make, around 20, 25, I will pick up Levi's, no problem. And as long as they are in current, style for younger men, I will always get them just because Plato's normally always takes them as long as they are cheap enough. Victoria's Secret, I am also kind of holding back on this brand. I used to do a lot better, especially in these like slip dresses. I'm going to be looking more for better material. It's just so hard to leave them behind when they're at the bins because they weigh pretty much nothing. This was an extra large. It was from the early 2000s. That's why I did pick it up. It did go for an offer of only $14. This White House Black Market dress I was pretty surprised about. I picked this up, when did I get that? Maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I think this sold the same week that I sold it, or that I had listed it for full asking price of $30. For whatever reason, that scuba material seems to be very popular in dresses, in like a fit and flare type dress. I don't know why that is. The same is with Calvin Klein, that type of material. So if you find that, it might be worth checking out. Never Fully Dressed. I've had this for quite a while. I would say at least a year and a half. This was a sheer material. It was new with tags. I probably had it listed too high back when I first listed it and was reluctant on taking offers, which I should have because this did end up going for only $15. Figs, this is another brand that I'm kind of leery on picking up just because I've seen a lot of people have issues with their listings being removed on eBay and Poshmark. So I did let this one go for $16. I think there was a small flaw to this, but it did sell within, I think, a couple days of listing, and it was an extra, extra small. Torrid, I normally always pick up their lingerie pieces. The bras, I'm a little bit more hesitant on. I look into those a little bit more for the sell-through rate, but anything like this normally does well if it's like a slip dress or something along those lines. This I got at the Goodwill bins, and it went for an offer of $25. Gorin Brothers, this came in, when did I talk about that? That was a couple weeks ago. I got a wholesale box on eBay. There is a supplier there that I, somewhat trust. I've never had bad buys from them, and they must get liquidation from, I'm assuming, Nordstrom. But anyway, in the past I have gotten, like undergarments, new with tag. This was all hats, new with tag. So I have sold, this is the second one, and that whole box has been paid for now. It was only $25 shipped to me. It ended up being 98 cents per hat that I have. And right now, the majority of the ones that are left are more like winter wool Brixton hats. So I'm kind of waiting on those. I have them listed. I thought maybe, I used the keywords festival, but as of right now, there hasn't been any movement on those. Fun skirt. I got this at Savers. I did pay full price, $10.99, a little bit higher than I wanted, but I always have done well with this brand, Double D Ranch. I believe it's sold at Boot Barn, I think. It's mainly a Western style brand. They do have novelty prints like this one. This was a midi skirt. It was tiered. It had a really nice print on it, and this did go for an offer of $60. This was a bundle deal on the last 2 pair of Allbird no-show socks. I was surprised that these have all sold. I thought these would probably sit for quite a while. I didn't make much on these. These came in a fun box from ThredUp, and these did go for an offer of $15 for both. Hannah Anderson, this was given to me from a family friend. I don't really sell this brand normally. I don't sell a lot of kids items anymore, but since it was free inventory to me, it was a cool design. I thought I would throw it up and see what happens, and it did go for an offer of $16. Lululemon, this finally sold. I thought it maybe would have sold a little bit quicker. This is an older style scuba hoodie. It did come in a thread-up activewear box, and this did go for an offer of $40. This J. Crew top did come in that horrible box from Helpsy Source. It was new with tags. It did go for an offer of $35, which I am at the point now where I'm realizing I will not make my money back on that box. So I definitely won't be buying from that company again. This was just a plaid button front kind of preppy shirt. Now into Mercari. This I picked up at the Goodwill bins probably about a month ago now. It is, I don't really know. It's not cross stitch, but it's in like a wooden hoop. It had a squirrel on it. This style just seemed like something someone would be looking for. This did go for $16.99. Liz Claiborne, I've had this forever. I picked this dress up at JCPenney's. They were having like a summer clearance event. I was looking for something that I could flip there. I was looking for, better sizes, better materials. This was a linen. I don't know if it was 100% linen or not. I've had this for quite a while, and it finally went for an offer of $18. This LuLaRoe, I just showed this in my Monday video. This sold within 2 days of listing for $17. And I know some people are really hesitant about LuLaRoe. I would definitely look at comps. Some things do better than others. I would stay away from smaller sizes. These two Fire King bowls, I have a set of 4, so I have to list the other 2. I didn't list them all together because I was trying to keep the weight down a little bit. So these did go for my full asking price of $23.99 fairly quickly, so I'm going to get the other 2 listed soon. These actually came from my mom. Wednesday 13, this came in that vintage retro bale that I got from another bad company. This one did go for $22, which was pretty surprising to me. When I looked up what this was, I wasn't exactly sure. It's a band that kind of reminds me of Alice Cooper. It kind of has like a horror type thing to it. Now onto eBay. These were a pair of White House Black Market, second White House Black Market sale this week, which is kind of surprising because normally it has been sitting for me. But I did pick these up at the bins based on style. They have that sailor button look that people are pretty interested in. And these did go for an offer of $25. Now we're getting into the auction items. This was an East 5th linen blend or linen shirt. This was originally bought last summer for when I was doing plus size live shows. I was sick of seeing it in my inventory, so I did just put it up for $3.99, and that's what someone ended up getting it for. This Torrid skirt I got at the bins, it was linen blend, size 2X. I've actually been doing fairly well with Torrid recently, which is pleasantly surprising because I do find it quite frequently, and this did go for an offer of $20. Next up is J. Crew. Normally I'm always raving about J. Crew, but sometimes I do get pieces that for whatever reason just don't move. No one's really interested in them. This was a 00. I'm sure that was part of the reason. And this did go for $5.99 on auction. BDG, another brand I don't do well with. This had a slight flaw. Otherwise I would have brought it to Plato's. And this one went for auction of $6.99. We the Free, I picked these up at Savers probably 2 months ago. I got it in this jean material and then also in a green, like khaki type material, same style, both pretty small. These are pull-on flares and they were new with tag. And these did go for an offer of $50. This was a bins pickup based on style. It was from the early 2000s, kind of that mismatched print. And this one did go for auction of $4.99. These Izod golf shorts, I don't even remember where I've picked these up. I'm assuming it was clearance at Goodwill for $1.99. They were sitting. I decided to drop the price and they did go for $12. This Anthropologie Maeve dress I've had for, I don't even know, like a year and a half. It's been to Plato's. I've relisted it probably, I don't even know how many times. This one actually had a little bit of a bidding war on it, which was kind of fun. And this ended up going for $12.50. Lane Bryant, this brand I'm very picky on. Normally has to be new with tags, definitely has to be newer styles. And these were a pair of just like pull-on the go pants. These went for an offer of $26.01. I will say that Lane Bryant seems to sell the best for me on eBay. On Poshmark and Mercari, there doesn't seem to be much movement, but eBay, definitely there is some interest. La Blanca, this came in that swimsuit bale. This was probably the best item in there. This is kind of a more expensive brand. This was pre-owned and it did go for an offer of $30. I think the design on it definitely helped, and one-piece swimsuits seem to be pretty popular this season. And then the last item was on Depop. This sweater vest had a lot of interest on Mercari and Depop. I picked it up at the bins probably 2 months ago or so. I had sent offers out on Mercari. No one seemed to be interested in purchasing it. Someone did end up making me an offer on Depop. I didn't think they were going to pay for it. Like I said before, I had a whole bunch this week. They ended up waiting like a whole day and did end up paying for it eventually, which was great. On Poshmark this week, I sold 17 items for a gross sales amount of $441. On Mercari, 5 items sold for $122.98. On eBay, 11 items sold for $265.98. Live sales are kind of taking a little break right now. I do kind of have something up my sleeve, more to come on that. And then on Depop, 1 sale for $25.50. So gross sales this week were $829.96 with a total profit going to me for $543.29. So going into next week, I think I'm going to continue, what I'm doing, listing. I'm trying to list more. The only issue I'm running into is getting good inventory to up my listings. I don't want to be in that position where, I'm at the bins or I find stuff for cheap and I'm just picking it up to make my goal. I want to make sure that I am, listing quality items. I think that was something that I kind of struggled with in the past when I first started selling. It was like, I wanted to make sure I'm selling this many items a week, and I just wasn't getting great items. So that's another reason too why I'm kind of branching out of just clothing, shoes, and accessories. That gives me more options to look for when I am looking for inventory. In my area, clothing is not always easy to come by. Sometimes it is, but it really depends. There is, competition in town. I see the other resellers out there. So that is why I wish I could find some sort of liquidation site or something where I knew I was getting good inventory consistently, but I don't know that that truly exists. All of these mystery boxes and everything else, I think, is just kind of a gamble. But I did just find another one, so that will be coming in a future video. Hopefully it's good inventory. We'll see. Let me know how your sales are going this week. I still can't believe that it's almost July, so that means pretty soon we will be out of the summer slowdown. Hopefully, that won't continue into August. I was actually looking at my numbers from a year ago and they are up. So that is something, I guess, to be excited about. It's very easy to kind of get in this slump of like, no one's buying anything. Why am I continuing to push so hard? And that's just part of reselling. Things are constantly changing. You have to be able to adapt. Certain things that worked, a year ago probably aren't going to work now. I mean, even sometimes 6 months ago, things you were doing aren't going to work now. So that's something else I've kind of been sitting down and really looking at numbers, really looking at, what I am doing and what I can change, what I have the ability to change, and working on that to, reach my goals. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.